I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm just not sure your years as an aerobics instructor and a health food store clerk give you the business experience needed.
I'm not very fast when I type. Do you have much typing?
No, not usually. Sometimes we do.
Well, I'll pick up speed as I go. I am bright.
Oh, I'm sure. You're also pretty young.
What does that have to do with being a secretary?
Well, I've been through a couple lately, and frankly, I was kind of hoping to get someone a little bit more mature and settled, someone that wouldn't go running off if she was married or got bored. It does get boring around here, you know.
I just need a steady job, Mr. Russell. And there is currently no man in my life, so I'm not about to get married.
John, guess what? I'm sorry.
No.
Excuse me.
Come on in, Cassie. Why don't we just step out for a minute? Snooping?
Yeah, it's in my blood. Just checking out my replacement. Health food store clerk.
Hey, well, you didn't have a lot of business experience when you started here either, you know, and I haven't hired her yet.
Good. Listen, there has been a major breakthrough a little while ago. Mom and I actually talked, and we actually got somewhere.
How did you and Dorian patch it up?
Well, there was an accident at the Vernon Inn Health Club, or maybe it wasn't an accident. Anyway, Mom heard that I was possibly hurt, and she panicked. When she came down there, she couldn't help but let her feelings for me come through.
Oh, good. So you're fine?
Well, things are definitely a lot better now that I've convinced Mom we would never intentionally hurt her. And I kind of let her know that even though we know we made mistakes, if we had it to do all over again, well...
Yeah. Well, I'm relieved.
Yeah, so am I. There's no need to feel guilty anymore. At least I don't. I told her how I was kind of the one that pushed things between us, and she blamed it on my immaturity. But at least she's not as mad at me as she was before.
Hey, I think you're off to a great start. Won't be long now until I'm forgotten.
Forgotten?
Well, I mean as an issue between you two.
John, look, I just spent all this time trying to work things out with my mom. I softened her up. Now maybe you should go talk to her. But this is a great chance for you to patch up your friendship.
No, forget it, Cassie. If your mom wants to work it out, she's going to have to come to me.
John, what does that mean?
It means that I'm just trying to forget the whole thing. I sure as hell don't want to go out of my way to start arguing with Dorian again.
What if it leads to working things out?
No, it's over. I want to leave it that way.
I'm not sure I really understand any of this.
Well, that doesn't really matter.
All right, John, I'll play along with this side of it. But I think I should tell you, Mom and I had a long talk. And she told me that as far as she was concerned, that I could see whoever I wanted. And since we were talking about you, I took that as kind of a go-ahead. We could start by acting normal.
Cassie, maybe you could. I couldn't. I'm sorry, I've thought this whole thing over, and I think it's better that we remain just as we are, away from each other.
So it doesn't matter? I mean, Mom told me she doesn't care who I go...
Of course she cares. Come on, you can't believe what she said out of kindness.
But
I can't get involved with you. At least not now. Not yet.
Wow. Here I was getting the impression from you that you really wanted us to try and work things out and spend time together. That's not what you want at all.
Cassie, don't go pushing, okay? Just give it time.
Excuse me, John, but you said to come back in 5 minutes?
Yeah, Renee. We'll continue this interview over lunch. Cassie, I'm gonna have to lock up now.
I know I'd have to take any old kind of job. She told me about her teenage son and that she wanted him raised the right way.
That's Roberta. There's nothing tiny about her, especially not her heart. So what did you say?
What could I say? She deserves the parole. When it comes to the board vote, she's got mine.
Who'd have thought it?
Dorian, I'm a very fair person, whatever you might think.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Who'd have thought we'd have so much in common?
Ah, you mean Herb.
Herb. I mean, really, you know, what other two women would be sitting here chatting, having lunch, working together when they have shared the same man? And then, of course, we also have your brother in common.
If we're going to start talking about John, I really would rather not discuss it.
No, please, as far as I'm concerned, John is ancient history. Blood under the bridge. I just wondered if perhaps he had said something about me or about Cassie.
Dorian, he is my brother, and he has told me some of his thoughts, but I am not going to share them with you.
Go back to your seat. Max, it was the wiring. Somebody tampered with it.
Well, the sound of that alarm, I thought there was going to be a fire or something.
No, apparently somebody's just stuck between floors. Sometimes that's not so terrible.
What is that supposed to mean?
Ask Herb.
All right.
Here it comes.
Do we go sit down?
From the expression on that man's face, I'd say the crisis was just beginning.
Okay, folks, calm down now. Everything is under control. The elevators are working, and there's no problems. No problem.
Break it up. Come on, show us. Young man, your problems have only just begun. I'm going to sue this so-called hotel for $1 million. Minimum.
Excuse me. I'm Pamela Buchanan. I'm the owner of this.
Here, sir.
I really don't harbor any resentment towards John for his betrayal of me. I'm just terribly concerned about Cassie, that's all. I don't want to see her hurt.
If you're trying to find out what John feels about Cassie, don't...
No. Heaven forbid. I just thought that perhaps you might sympathize with my dilemma as a mother yourself.
I really sympathize with another problem that we share, and that's Roberta. What happens if she does get the parole? What then?
For starters, she's going to need a job.
I was hoping you would say that. Do you suppose there's something for her at WVLE? I mean, that could be just the thing that will make the board vote for her parole.
No.
No? You mean just like that? No?
Don't misunderstand me. I would love to help her, give her a job. It's just that the entire parole board knows that Roberta and I served time together.
Yes, I suppose it could be favoritism. I never even considered that.
Yes, we have to find somebody who doesn't know her but is still willing to give her a job.
That's not going to be easy unless we... Wait a minute, I have an idea.
You know somebody?
Well, it's a long shot, but if it works, Roberta is absolutely free.
Well, tell me.
No, I don't want to talk about it now. If we're going to do anything, we better get started. Come on.
Oh.
Let's go.
Visit?
Yes, you may. I've come to see Charles.
No, you could have saved yourself a lot of trouble if you had called first. Charles is out of town and will be until later tonight. However, if you'll tell me your problem, I'll relay the message.
Elizabeth, why do you think I have a problem? I just need a favor from my ex-husband, but I'll wait and ask him personally later.
I thought you two had agreed to keep a civilized distance.
We're still friends, even if you disapprove of it.
Well, far be it from me to tell Charles who his friend should be.
Well, you're certainly changing for the better. You used to tell him everything you thought, including what tie he should wear.
Judith, must we always be at odds with each other? Can't we bury the hatchet once and for all?
Depends on where you want to bury it, Elizabeth.
We could start by trying to be civil to each other.
All right. You can tell Charles the favor has to do with Sanders Chemical.
What about Sanders?
I'll tell Charles the rest.
My dear, Charles is far too busy with his own career to concern himself with the family's business. If you want something from Sanders Chemicals, you'll have to start at the top. With me.
Well, now, what a pleasant surprise. The boss is here. How are you? Didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I've been spending so much of my time the past few weeks with the Prison Reform Commission that I've been dumping it, WVLE, entirely in your lap. I figured I'd better come in and do a little work myself.
Well, you haven't heard me complaining, have you?
No, quite the contrary. In fact, you've streamlined the news department. You've You've reshaped our programming. You are, in short, a one-man management staff.
Well, tell me, is that good or is that bad?
It's good for WVLE. I just wonder if perhaps we aren't asking too much of you.
Not at all. I enjoy the work, Dorian. Oh, if you'll excuse me.
Tom, you're a lousy liar. We both know the real reason why you're spending so much time here at the studio.
Of course, it's because of the documentary we're doing on homeless people.
Yes, there are the homeless. There are also those who do not wish to go home. I know I've been through a lot of pain myself. I've been very grateful to the Prison Reform Commission for taking up so much of my time, but it does help to stop, take a deep breath, talk to somebody.
Well, there really isn't anything to talk about. I guess I'm just a workaholic, huh?
I think you're a man who's trying to get Vicki Buchanan off his mind.
Fortunately, she's the one that asked me to help Roberta get parole.
I don't believe that. Dorian isn't one to associate with common criminals.
You don't seem to know much about the woman. Have you conveniently forgotten the fact that she spent time at Statesville? Roberta helped her save her life several times. This is her way of paying back a debt.
Well, why didn't you tell me all that before? I value Dorian's opinion. And if she can vouch for this woman, well, who am I to stand in the way?
So now you'll reconsider.
I'll do better than that. I'm sure we can find some work for your friend. Nothing that involves sensitive chemicals, of course, or gives her access to research and development.
What do you want her to do, mop the lavatories?
Don't be snide, dear. We can't give her work she can't handle. That would be self-defeating.
She just wants a decent job. It's very important for her parole and for her self-respect.
Well, rest assured, she shall have one. Sanders Chemicals has always reached out to the community. So, shall we consider it a fait accompli?
I don't know what made you change your mind, Elizabeth, but for Roberta's sake, I'll accept it. Thank you.
What do you want me to say? I didn't plan any of this. I came to Landview to try and track down my long-lost twin brother. I didn't know I was going to meet his wife and
fall in love with her? Come on, Tom, why don't you just admit it?
What's the point in admitting any of that? Vicky's got her memory back. She's got her children back. And she's got Clint back.
And you're walking around pretending as if you've got nothing on your mind but WVLE.
Well, work's good for me.
You deserve something more than that. I remember when we first met. You came here to interview me for the Banner.
Yeah, how could I forget?
Well, you had so much enthusiasm then, and not just for your new job, but for your new life in Landview. Be nice to see some of that enthusiasm back again.
Well, I suppose if Vicky can find happiness, so can I, huh?
You really mean that, don't you? You want her to be happy, even if it's without you.
Oh, I said I love her. Isn't that what love is?
You are a unique man. I think that you are the last true gentleman left on the face of the earth.
I don't think I go quite that far.
I would. Most men put themselves first, before the woman that they supposedly love. And then if it doesn't work out, they're on to the next woman, without giving it a second thought.
Tell me, Dorian, why do I get the feeling I should be listening and you should be talking?
Don't be silly. I'm just hypothesizing.
Yeah, of course. Well, I have an appointment at the Vernon Inn with Congressman Kramer. I'll try and talk him into appearing on your show with you. Excuse me.
Remember what they say about all work?
Come on, Dorian.
All right, all right. I won't give you any more lectures. However, happiness doesn't always find you. Sometimes you got to stop working and go out and look for it yourself.
I'll tell you something, boss darling. If you find it, you tell me where it is, and I'll get some for myself. How's that?